Okay, so this is my video and PowerPoint for response paper 4. This is mainly about social media governance. This is gonna mainly deal with Facebook, but it also can be thought about, would also, or keep in mind that Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat can also be things that would need to be addressed and considered. The main question of this paper is, should the government be pursuing Mark Zuckerberg over his policies through Facebook, mainly over political ads? My opinion is the government should be responsible for designing safe practices on the internet and regulating things that happen on social media platforms, or be a way to interfere if something becomes too much to handle for a platform, things like that. So with Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg claims that he wants this to be a platform for free speech and free expression, which obviously that's what every social media platform should be, and that should be something we carry out as a democracy in the US. So things that Facebook did was that they had a committee that was mainly made of journalists, and they would be the ones who would go through and mark if something violated terms and conditions, if something should be taken down, if maybe something was not getting enough press and needed to be upvoted and promoted more just for the general public to see. Now that comes with challenges because obviously we're human and we're not going to have completely unbiased opinions. And especially with Facebook, they had more of a, or it seemed that they had more of a liberal ideology, and they were trying to carry out some of those beliefs, or felt like they needed to protect their audience from things like conspiracies or fake news. So when it comes to political ads, I really do not see the reason for Facebook needing to ban them. We see political ads in television and newspapers, and it's a place for information, so I don't see why it would need to be here or not on these platforms in particular. I know this was an issue though because Facebook did come out and say that a Russian group had bought a bunch of political ads to be targeted to the US in our 2020 election. So things like in that circumstance would be the perfect example for where the government would need to interfere, and the government would need to say, hey, you can't sell things like that. If there's suspicious activity, you need to report to us. Just some kind of examples that would take place and how the government could interfere, or the government needs to know when things like that happen. So again, what should be government doing? If the government is concerned or feels that they need to have a place on social media and in these platforms, I feel like they should be making a new department to help regulate those situations, especially in our government right now. We're very far behind in technology, and we don't have many policies and departments that deal with these situations. So when these situations do arise, we're usually left wondering to figure out them, especially with senators currently. The average age for a senator is 65, so a lot of them do not know exactly how to handle these situations. So I know when it was the 2020 election, I was interested in a department like this through Andrew Yang. He wanted to make a department of attention economy, and that would deal with tech companies and regulate and try to prevent negative effects from happening, and and try to help protect people from, having any ill consequences from the internet. Yeah. So that would conclude my presentation over social media governance. So this is my video and PowerPoint for response paper 4. This is mainly about social media governance. This is gonna mainly deal with Facebook, but it also can be thought about, keep